Did you see what just happened to household prices in August 2025? While most people were busy enjoying the last days of summer, key products from cleaning staples to food storage essentials quietly surged in price, some by as much as 12%. And now, several major suppliers are warning, this is just the beginning. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to show you the receipts. Because right now, 8 out of 10 American families are already cutting back, and the cracks in the system are widening fast. In today's video, I'm revealing 8 common household products you need to grab before they vanish off shelves or become luxury priced overnight. And number 6, it's already backordered in 3 states and most people don't even realize why. If you care about protecting your budget, your family, and your peace of mind, don't wait. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss these updates. Let's get into it. Number 1, plastic household products. You wouldn't think twice about a plastic container, or a pack of disposable cups, or the little bins you use to organize your tools, your spices, your screws. But let me tell you right now, in August 2025, those ordinary plastic household items are becoming surprisingly hard to come by. And most folks don't even realize it until they're staring at empty shelf space where their favorite brands used to be. Behind the scenes, the ripple effect is hitting everything made from plastic laundry baskets, food storage containers, trash bins, even those cheap drawer organizers you grab without a second thought. Why? Because many of these products are still made overseas, often in China, and right now, U.S. import tariffs and fuel price hikes are strangling the flow of cheap plastic goods into American stores. According to retail inventory trackers, discount stores like Dollar Tree, Big Lots, and even major players like Walmart are reporting inconsistent shipments on plastic kitchenware and home storage supplies. And when do shipments arrive? They're smaller, more expensive, and often missing key items. This isn't just about organization, it's about resilience. Think about it. Plastic bins are essential for food storage, pest control, and waterproofing your supplies. Without them, your stockpile gets exposed, your pantry gets messy, and your gear? It starts to scatter when you need it most. And here's the kicker. Replacing plastic with metal or glass isn't always an option. Those alternatives are more expensive, heavier, and in many cases, even harder to find now. So if you see affordable plastic goods on the shelf, grab them. Clear storage tubs, tool caddies, drawer trays, measuring jugs, zip bins, they might not scream survival, but in a crisis, they become the framework that holds your systems together. Because when things start falling apart, you'll be glad your supplies are stored, sorted, and sealed up right. And if you wait too long, you'll be the one stuck paying triple or going without. Number 2, cleaning products. You can survive a blackout. You can live without hot water. But if you run out of basic cleaning supplies during a crisis, the real danger creeps in silently: bacteria, mold, viruses, and cross-contamination. And right now, in August 2025, cleaning products are once again slipping into the shortage zone, just like they did back in 2020. But this time, it's not just panic buying, it's a slow-burn supply chain breakdown. Distributors across the U.S. are already flagging major delays in resupplying disinfectant sprays, bleach wipes, sponges, and even toilet bowl cleaners. Big box stores like Target and Walmart are limiting shelf space for some brands due to inconsistent shipments. And the rising cost of raw chemical ingredients like isopropyl alcohol, sodium hypochlorite, and citric acid is forcing companies to either shrink packaging or raise prices. Most are doing both. The result? You'll walk down the cleaning aisle and find it emptier than you expect, or stacked with overpriced, watered-down alternatives. And here's why it matters. When the grid fails or the water pressure drops, maintaining hygiene becomes your last defense against illness. One contaminated countertop or unwashed dish sponge can spread bacteria faster than you think, especially in tight spaces with limited running water. That's how people get sick in emergencies, not from exposure, but from what's left behind. So what should you stock up on now? Bleach, disinfectant sprays, gloves, microfiber cloths, multi-surface cleaners, toilet scrubbers, dish soap, and vinegar. And don't forget baking soda. It's cheap, multi-purpose, and still in short supply in some regions due to agricultural bottlenecks. Cleaning products might not feel like a crisis item, but when society bends, it's sanitation that breaks first. You'll want your home to be your fortress, not a breeding ground. And if you wait until the next outbreak, the next flood, the next blackout, you'll be fighting crowds for the last bottle on the shelf, or worse, going without entirely. Number 3, packaging materials. Most people think of cardboard boxes and bubble wrap as throwaway junk. But when the system breaks down, packaging materials become your front line of protection for food, for gear, for your sanity. Right now, in August 2025, there's a major shift happening behind the scenes. The global cost of packaging has skyrocketed due to shortages in plastic resins, paper pulp, and aluminum. And with freight costs still unstable, manufacturers are prioritizing product over packaging. That means less availability of things like food-grade zip bags, heavy-duty foil, mylar pouches, and storage-safe containers. Even something as simple as shrink wrap or vacuum seal bags has become harder to find on shelves. Here's what no one tells you. When a crisis hits, storage is survival. You may have rice, but how do you keep it dry? You may have water, but where do you store the extras when jugs run out? What happens when your backup batteries, fire starters, or medical supplies get damp from leaks or exposure? It's packaging that protects your preps. And think beyond storage, what about bartering? Clean containers, spare Ziplocs, tins, or even bubble wrap could become currency in a collapsed system. People won't just trade for food, they'll trade for the means to preserve what they have left. That's why smart preppers are quietly stocking up now on resealable bags, vacuum seal rolls, foil sheets, tin containers, Tupperware-style bins, and stretch wrap. Not the flashy stuff, but the overlooked essentials that make your supplies last longer. So next time you walk past those boxes of freezer bags or packing tape, don't shrug them off. Grab them. Because once the shipping bottlenecks tighten or stores start rationing packaging for manufacturers, you won't just be short on food, you'll be short on the tools that protect your food. The collapse won't announce itself, but your preparedness will echo loud when others are scrambling to hold things together literally. Number 4. Pet supplies. When disaster strikes, people panic about food, water, and medicine. But if you're one of the 66% of American households with a pet, you've got another mouth to feed. And here's the harsh truth. Pet supplies are disappearing faster than anyone expected. In August 2025, a silent shortage is creeping into stores across the country. Pet food aisles aren't being restocked at normal speed. Why? It's not just one reason, it's the perfect storm. Grain shortages, meat processing disruptions, and increased costs for aluminum and packaging materials have forced many pet food companies to scale back or hike prices. Even big names like Blue Buffalo and Purina have issued quiet warnings to suppliers. But it doesn't stop at food. Litter, flea meds, grooming tools, puppy pads, waste bags, even basic chew toys, these are the items vanishing from discount chains and warehouse clubs. Because when manufacturers are pressured, they focus on the core essentials for humans, not your golden retriever. Now think about this from a prepper's perspective. Your dog isn't going to understand rationing. Your cat won't adjust if their brand is suddenly swapped. And once the shelves are cleared, alternatives won't just be inconvenient, they'll be non-existent. That's why the smartest families are acting now. Stocking dry food in airtight containers, vacuum sealing treats, rotating supply to avoid spoilage. Some are even learning to make homemade kibble alternatives in a pinch. Not because it's trendy, because when the grid fails or inflation soars, the pet aisle will be one of the first to empty. If you rely on meds for your pet's allergies, joints, or anxiety, talk to your vet now. Ask for extras. Because in a crisis, you won't be able to explain a delay to your four-legged family member. They depend on you for everything. And when everyone else is scrambling to feed themselves, you'll be the one whose home still has barking at the door, a warm purr in the hallway, and no fear of running out. Number 5. Fresh vegetables. Walk into any supermarket today, and you might still see bins of lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. But take a closer look. Prices are rising, sizes are shrinking, and freshness is starting to fade. What we're witnessing right now is the quiet unraveling of the fresh vegetable supply chain, and August 2025 could be a turning point. The warning signs are already here. California, America's vegetable basket, has been hit hard by water restrictions and extreme heat. Crops like romaine, spinach, and peppers have suffered low yields this summer, while transportation costs have surged due to diesel price hikes and labor shortages. And with new tariffs on imported produce from Mexico, grocery stores are left scrambling to fill the gaps. In short, supply is dropping, demand remains high, and your salad is now a luxury item. But this isn't just about price. When shelves thin out, what's left often lacks nutrition. Veggies are being picked too early, stored too long, and shipped across states without proper cooling. By the time they hit your plate, their value and taste isn't what it used to be. Now imagine a crisis. Power grid down, trucks stalled, and import lines blocked. Fresh vegetables will be among the first items to disappear completely. That's why smart families are adjusting now, stockpiling canned spinach and carrots, dehydrating bell peppers and mushrooms, even starting small windowsill gardens because when the trucks stop, your only greens might be the ones you grow yourself. And don't forget the prepper's secret weapon, vacuum-sealed mixed veggie packs. They store for months, rehydrate quickly, and hold more nutrition than most people realize. So yes, fresh vegetables look plentiful today. But dig deeper, and you'll see they're hanging by a thread. In a world where nutrition could mean survival, the time to plan is now not when the produce section turns to dust. Because when it all goes down, the families that planned ahead won't be eating freeze-dried mush. They'll still have color, crunch, and vitamins on their table. Number 6. Packaged baking products. Flour, sugar, baking soda, once seen as humble pantry staples, are now becoming silent victims of a deepening supply crisis. And if you've noticed rising prices or bare spots in the baking aisle lately, you're not imagining it. In fact, packaged baking products may be one of the hardest hit grocery categories this August. Let's start with the backbone of it all, wheat flour. Thanks to extreme heat waves across Kansas and prolonged drought conditions in parts of Canada, wheat yields have dropped dramatically in 2025. The USDA has already cut its production forecast by nearly 10% compared to last year. With less wheat, flour prices are climbing fast, and that impacts everything from pancake mix to cake flour. Next comes sugar. Recent disruptions in exports from Brazil and India, two of the world's largest producers, have squeezed global supply chains. Combine that with domestic trucking delays and higher import tariffs, and suddenly the price of a 5-pound bag feels more like a luxury than a staple. But it doesn't stop there. Baking powder, yeast, and shortening are all part of the same fragile web. Many of these products rely on stable chemical production, overseas imports, and refrigerated transport. When any one of those links breaks due to labor shortages, fuel costs, or port delays, the ripple effect hits the shelves hard. And don't forget packaging. Cardboard boxes, foil linings, and resealable bags are all more expensive to produce now due to petroleum and paper shortages. That's why you're seeing higher prices on everything from brownie mix to pie crust kits, even if the ingredients haven't changed. The danger? Most families overlook baking goods until the holidays. But smart preppers and budget-conscious shoppers know better. These products don't just make cookies, they're the foundation for DIY bread, emergency comfort meals, and calorie-dense foods in long-term crises. If things spiral, if shipments stall and panic buying begins, you won't be baking your own bread. You'll be wishing you had the mix to try. So now's the time to act. Whether it's grabbing extra flour, learning to make your own baking powder substitutes, or vacuum sealing cake mixes for the months ahead, these steps could make all the difference. Because in a world where the basics become luxuries, a warm loaf of bread might one day mean more than just food. It could mean resilience. Number 7. Canned vegetables. When the power goes out, fresh produce quickly loses value. Wilting, spoiled, even dangerous. That's why canned vegetables become one of the most vital lifelines in a crisis. Their reliability and long shelf life make them a cornerstone of survival. But in August 2025, canned vegetables are slipping into the shortage zone. It's not just inflation, it's a full supply squeeze. U.S. Steel tariffs, recently doubled from 25 to 50%, have sent shockwaves through the food industry. Food cans rely on tin-coated steel known as tin plate, and around 75% of that material is imported. Manufacturers warn that these tariffs could raise canned goods prices by 9 to 15%. That's not just numbers, it's real. Reviews show canned soups, beans, tomato sauces, and yes, vegetables, are already disappearing from shelves. When the packaging becomes expensive, the product suffers shortages, hit, and prices spike. This isn't a future threat, it's happening now in real time, and few people seem to notice. What you and your family need to understand is this: canned veggies are more than just food. They're the scaffold of your survival pantry. They don't require refrigeration, are easy to store, and pack the nutrients you need when every fresh item is gone. In a blackout or food crisis, they transform from ordinary grocery staples into strategic lifelines. Here's the kicker. Shortages of canned fruits and vegetables don't just hurt consumers, they cripple food banks and hunger relief programs. With production costs rising, many organizations warn they won't be able to maintain supply levels or variety. If you wait for canned goods to go on sale, you might just walk away with empty shelves. Instead, consider stocking up especially basics like corn, green beans, peas, mixed veggies, and tomato products. Vacuum seal extras or rotate them into your daily cooking to keep your cash fresh. In a blackout, comfort meals and home-cooked staples vanish with power. But a stocked pantry of canned vegetables gives your family stability, nutrition, and peace of mind. And when the shelves go silent, you'll be glad they're still standing on yours. Number 8. Dairy products. When disaster strikes, the first thing to vanish from cold shelves is often the most fragile: dairy. Whether it's milk, butter, cheese, or yogurt, these essentials crumble under the weight of power outages, transport delays, and soaring prices. And in August 2025, dairy isn't just vulnerable, it's on the front lines of a worsening shortage. The cracks have been forming for months. A wave of drought conditions across major dairy-producing states like California, Idaho, and Wisconsin has tightened milk supply dramatically. Feed costs are up, transport costs are up, and now, according to recent USDA forecasts, wholesale milk prices are expected to rise 6 to 8% by the end of the quarter. That may sound like background noise until you remember how many other products depend on milk, butter, cheese, baby formula, and even certain baked goods. And here's the silent danger: refrigeration. In a grid-down situation, dairy becomes dangerous faster than almost any other food group. Without power, milk sours in hours, cheese molds, yogurt turns. That's why preppers and cautious families are turning to shelf-stable alternatives like powdered milk, canned condensed milk. These items are flying off digital shelves already. Recent Costco and Walmart tracking data shows shelf-stable dairy sales up 23% compared to last summer, with out-of-stock notices climbing, particularly for evaporated milk and cheddar blocks. And let's not forget about baby formula, a dairy derivative that remains in short supply due to persistent manufacturing issues. But this isn't about panic, it's about planning. Keeping a stash of non-perishable dairy options means more than just coffee creamer and cereal. It means cooking flexibility. It means nutrition for kids. It means comfort when the world goes cold. If you're still relying solely on refrigerated dairy, you're betting your family's nutrition on a system that's already failing millions. Don't wait for the next outage or price spike to regret it. Number 9. Chocolate and cocoa products. In a crisis, the world doesn't just lose luxuries, it loses morale, and nothing symbolizes both comfort and collapse more than a fading bar of chocolate. What was once a pantry afterthought is now becoming a scarcity signal, especially as cocoa prices hit historic highs in 2025. The warning signs started quietly first in West Africa, where over 70% of the world's cocoa supply originates. This year, devastating floods and crop disease in Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire have ravaged cocoa yields. Combined with fertilizer shortages and farmer strikes, the ripple effect has reached your grocery aisle faster than anyone expected. According to Bloomberg, cocoa prices surged over 50% in the first half of 2025, and the fallout is still unfolding. Now zoom in on your local store. That chocolate bar your kids beg for? It's not just getting smaller, it's becoming harder to find. From chocolate chips and syrups to drink powders and baking cocoa, shelves are thinning. The scarcity isn't limited to sweets. Cocoa is used in high-calorie emergency rations, protein bars, nutritional shakes items that become critical in a survival scenario. And let's not forget what chocolate actually represents in times of crisis: barter value. In every recorded major conflict, from World War II to Venezuela's modern-day collapse, chocolate has remained one of the most in-demand trade items. It's portable, shelf-stable, and psychologically powerful. But here's the twist: big brands like Hershey and Nestle have already issued warnings. They're reformulating products, cutting portions, and in some cases, pulling low-performing SKUs entirely. That means cocoa-based products are not just becoming more expensive, they're vanishing in silence. So the question isn't, do you need chocolate? It's, do you want the option of having it when the system breaks down? Because once the shelves are stripped bare, it's not the sugar you'll miss, it's the warmth, the energy, the mental reset that only a square of dark chocolate can bring. If there's one luxury product worth storing, it's this one: before it's no longer a luxury at all. Let's be brutally honest, this isn't just about toilet paper or canned veggies anymore. It's about how fragile our so-called normal has become. Every item we talked about today used to be a quiet fixture in your home. Nothing special, nothing urgent. But now, each one is a warning bell. Because when the lights go out, when the trucks stop rolling, and when store shelves echo with emptiness, it won't be about luxury, it'll be about survival. The families who make it through won't be the ones with the fanciest gear or the biggest budgets. It'll be the ones who saw the signs early and acted. You've made it this far, which means you're not like the average person. You're watching closely. You're thinking ahead. You want to protect your family, not just cross your fingers and hope for the best. But here's the truth. This crisis is moving faster than most people realize. Prices are spiking, inventories are thinning, and every delay is a risk you can't afford. That's why this channel exists, to cut through the noise and bring you the real warnings before the headlines hit. So if you felt even one moment of urgency during this video, don't walk away. Because the next 30 days might be the most important window you get to prepare while others are still asleep at the wheel. Hit that bell icon and let's ride through this storm together, one step ahead of the chaos.